About 30 miles from Boston, there's an Amtrak station that's completely abandoned. Yes, you heard that right. Not New Haven, not MBTA, but a station operated, served, and eventually abandoned by Amtrak. It's just 10 miles from the Northeast Corridor, yet it hasn't seen a single train since 1996. So why was this station built? And can I find what's left of it using regional New England transit? The only way to find out is to go for a ride. I'm starting at Boston Back Bay Station this evening, where I'm hopping on board the MBTA's Providence-Stoughton line. This will take me 30 miles south to Attleboro, running on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor the whole time. This line is very important to today's story. See, if we zoom out, here's the Northeast Corridor, and here is Cape Cod, one of the biggest summer tourist destinations on the East Coast. Do you notice how close the Cape is to the Northeast Corridor? Well, so did Amtrak, because in 1986, they launched a new train called the Cape Codder, between New York City and Hyannis, the largest village on Cape Cod. Starting at Penn Station, this train sped through Connecticut, stopping only at Stamford and New Haven, before crossing into Rhode Island and serving Providence. Then it reached Attleboro, Massachusetts, which was a stop for the first 3 summers. Here it left the Northeast Corridor and turned east towards the Cape. As we approach Attleboro from the north on our commuter train, we can see a track splitting from the corridor, peeling off and crossing what looks like a very pleasant street. Oh! This is the Middleborough Secondary, a right-of-way owned by MassDOT, and it's what the Cape Codder used to cut across southern Mass. Today, unfortunately, the western portion of the line is freight only, so we're going to have to use a different mode of transit to follow the line. Alright, we have made it to Attleboro, and right up ahead I see the 18, which will take me from here to Taunton. Attleboro Station is surrounded by transit-oriented development, and it's also a hub for a bus system known as GATRA, Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority. Wait, shouldn't that be GATRTA? Anyways, we'll be taking the number 18 bus, roughly paralleling the Middleborough Secondary from here to the town of Taunton. This 10-mile trip will take about half an hour, and cost nothing, because the GATRA system is presently free. Leaving the station, we pass under the Middleborough Secondary almost immediately, then cross under or over it again a few times as we make our way towards Taunton, because that's where the abandoned Amtrak station is. Cape Codder services stopped in Taunton throughout the train's run at a station built specifically for the service. From here, they continued to Wareham, Buzzards Bay, Sandwich, West Barnstable, and Hyannis. It's worth noting that for the 1988 summer season, the Cape Cod and Hyannis Railroad also ran a tourist-oriented service between Attleboro and Hyannis, with a stop at Taunton, but that didn't last past that year. By 1996, according to a contemporary timetable, the Cape Codder shifted to a new route. It started in Boston, ran to Providence, which is hilariously labeled as being in Massachusetts on this timetable, and then reversed down the Middleborough Secondary, stopped in Taunton, and headed to the Cape. Did any of you guys ride the Cape Codder when it was in service? Let me know in the comments below. The Cape Codder was not renewed after the 1996 season due to low ridership. All the train's other former stops are served by Amtrak, the Cape Flyer, and/or tourist trains today, but Taunton Station sits completely abandoned, and that's what we're on our way to see. Notably, the trip from Attleboro to Taunton on the train took about 30 minutes, about the same length as our bus ride. Sayonara. Alright, welcome to Taunton, Massachusetts. We have about 45 minutes till the next bus, so let's see if we can find the abandoned Amtrak station. Alright, to start, let's check out the GATRA Transportation Center. It's pretty decent. We've got a departures board over here. We want the number 8 bus, which is in 45 minutes, but that should be enough time to see what we need to see. There's also a little cafe in here, although it does not appear to be open at this present moment. Some brochures, and I think this is all facilities for GATRA and such. And the ticket machines no longer work because GATRA is running fare free through September 30th. Apparently in this station there used to be a ticket window for the Cape Codder, and even when the Cape Codder ceased service, it was still there until a renovation in 2015. I'm not going to try to find where it used to be because we don't have a ton of time, but it is interesting that this was sort of used as a ticketing facility, maybe even a waiting facility, and then the platform was right down there. Let's see if it's still there. Here's the outside of the station. Not much to write home about. Oh, there's a hole-on diner in there that we walked past. Miles, if you're watching this, what do you think about Gatra and Diner being on the same sign? Now here on Classy Wheel, we are not all about trespassing, so we're gonna be trying to see if we can find this station from a publicly accessible location. It should be right back that way, I believe. Okay, coming up on the track. We're gonna turn once we get past the crossing gate. Moment of truth, is it still there? Yes, you can sort of see it. I'm just gonna zoom in here and post. There's a desire path through here. Still not trespassing because it just opens up onto this parking lot. Oh dear, the foliage here is very, very thick. I cannot see for the life of me the track or the platform. Okay, here we go. We finally got a gap in the foliage and you can see the very back corner of the platform. I'm gonna circle it on screen because it's just so dang hard to see. It's covered in trash. There's no markings to speak of. It's just a bit of asphalt. Oh, here's another view of the platform. If you zoom in here, you can see it. It is wild to think that this was an Amtrak station. It is kind of cool that they were able to put it right next to the transportation center and like use that for ticketing and stuff like that. It's just such a funny setup. I just switched to my phone because it has better zoom, but there is the entire platform. Looks to be about the length of an Amfleet car, maybe even not that. So unfortunately, the Gatra Route 18 does not run super late. By the time I got here, the last one towards Attleboro had already departed. So I'm going to have to make a bit of a longer trek back to Boston. I'm going to be taking the number 8 bus from here all the way down to East Taunton Station, and then taking South Coast Rail, aka the Fall River New Bedford line, back up to South Station. Tiny bus is back. But it looks like I've got the electric Gillig. Our electric Gillig passes through Taunton's downtown, occasionally crossing over railroad tracks belonging to the Middleborough Secondary and other connecting lines. Soon we're pulling up to East Taunton Station on the MBTA commuter rail, which feels like Grand Central Terminal after the Taunton Amtrak station. Since I'm now stuck here for 40 minutes, I decide to do a live stream until my Boston-bound train arrives. In the last rays of smoky daylight, our train turns onto the Middleborough Secondary, and for just a few minutes, I'm running down the same tracks as Amtrak's old train to the Cape. I love living in such a transit-rich part of the US, since I was able to see this abandoned station without a car, bike, or rideshare. Are there other things like this you guys think I should visit in the Boston area? Let me know in the comments below, and take care.